We call him Barrow, that's what I will call him this entire speech, and I will call Kyle Story. There are two best men, there are two toasts, one's beginning, one at the end, but before I get to the first toast, I would like to do what I'm going to call a declaration of recognition and not in any way the best man speech. This doesn't count on the clock. Story, you know I've always rooted against you both personally and professionally, and I've never respected that. But there's one thing I do respect about you, and I think there's some recognition. Many of you not know this, but this beautiful wedding we've all been a part of today was largely paid for by a second job worked by Story the past 2 years. Several nights a week, I would get a call on the way home from my only job, while he was calling me to his second job. He had already put in a full day at United Pole Distribution with, where's Grandpa Lloyd? There. Hold your hand. Kyle, wave to your boss. Good job. After putting in a full day with Lloyd, he was going to work another 5 or 6 hours. And the things that he had to endure and for how long is just amazing. And I think that deserves some recognition. And Bear, would you like to give a toast?
You did a great job. Everyone raise your glasses. Let's toast Kyle Story's hard work. And Lloyd willing, may he never have to work a second job.
Now to the speech.
It's just now starting.
What we gonna talk about? No! Alright, let's talk about how I met Kyle. I met Kyle about 20 years ago. We were about 8 years old playing on the Hawkeyes DFL football team. I was about this tall, he was about this tall, and his head was that big. We became best buddies on the line, and after the season, we were both recruited to play on the Dublin football traveling team. And I wasn't so sure about it because I didn't know many people on the team, and those I did, I didn't really care for. But I knew I had my friend Kyle coming. So I showed up the first few days of practice, and Kyle was nowhere to be found. And at the age of 8, that was the first time that I was storied. If you're unfamiliar with the term story, that's a positive thing for you. I'm going to define it. Storied is the act of engaging another person in a plan or activity. You pick the time and location. The other person shows up, you do not, and you don't tell the other person how to. If that's a little hard to follow, we've got like a 30-second skip to act this out for you. I'm going to play myself, Barrow's going to play Story. Hey Story, what's up?
Hey, Casey. You want to go see that new Denzel Washington movie?
Yeah, that sounds good. Is it pick a time in the theater?
Yeah, hold on. How about we meet at 8?
I don't know if I can do 8 o'clock. Is 9 o'clock going to be work?
No.
Are you stressing me?
Anybody want a Peter?
Fast forward to 8:30. I'm at the theater by myself in the seat. Kyle's not there. He did not tell me he was going to show up. End scene. Now that we've got that done, let's find out how Barrow met Story.
Now, I didn't meet Story until about high school. It's early high school. I pretty much met him through him and Casey's blossoming relationship. So, I remember one day, I'm walking down the hallways of Dublin Coffin High School, daydreaming like I love to do all the time. Out the corner of my eye, I see something very strange. I didn't look any closer at what it could be, but I started speculating on maybe what I saw. I thought to myself, man, they're putting refrigerators in the hallways now. That's pretty weird, but I'm into it. Now, as I walk by this cargo short wearing kitchen appliance, it says, dumbfounded, I report back to Casey, and he confirmed that what I just talked to was a 15-year-old boy that was a member of the Dublin Kaufman golf team. So, the next line of questioning was, why is this human icebox not playing contact sports? He was literally the size of two of our offensive linemen combined.
So we're in high school. All of us are finally in the same school under the same roof. Barrow, JW, and I are all playing football. But this guy, like Barrow alluded to, is playing golf. Now it's taken millions of years of human evolution to get to the point where 6'7", 300 people even exist. And this guy is playing golf, walking around in a sand trap somewhere with a golf club in one hand and a club sandwich in the other. It was unforgivable. But finally, around the end of sophomore year, he came up to me and said, I'm thinking about coming out for the team. And little did I know that would be like a turning point in our friendship. Because as soon as he joined the team, Phil joined the team. All of our schedules are like now in sync, and we're hanging out all the time together. Suddenly, our parents had half the offensive and defensive starting lines at their house at all times. But thankfully, they were very accommodating, and suddenly we all had not one, but several sets of parents looking out for us. And thank God, because we needed it, and we probably still do. But let's get to the good stuff. Let's talk about how these two fell in love, because I was there. Now, I very much believe in fate, and the tale I'm about to tell is a good reason why. A big date to circle on the calendar on the history of their relationship is September 11th, 2010. That was the date of Brad and Caroline's wedding. As fate would have it, Ashley, Story, and I were all invited. And as fate would have it, we're all seated at the same table. And I have to break down the seating chart because this is very important. When Ashley's new, Ashley, me, my date, Story, his date. I'm right in the middle at the 50-yard line watching it all go down. We're having a great time at the wedding. And Story and I are talking about the Ohio State-Miami game that happened earlier that day. And Ashley sort of nonchalantly leans back and starts breaking down the Penn State-Alabama game that's happening that night. Story's head just snaps to the left. And just like that, it happened. Things got real weird from there. I'm the only one that really realized what was happening. But this is a true story, and this is what happened. All the lights went off except for our table. You see the crisscrossing beats of light coming down on top and Ashley. The music of the wedding DJ stopped, and a new song began. I suddenly heard the song. It was Lionel Richie singing, "Hello, is it me you're talking about? I can see it in your eyes, I can see it in your eyes. You're all I ever wanted, and my arms are open wide. Could you know just what to say? Could you know just what to do? And I'll love to tell you so much.
Oh my God.
I love you. That awkwardness y'all just felt, that's how I felt. I'm glad I could share it with somebody else. Thankfully, everything went back to normal. The lights came on, the music from the wedding DJ came back, but the damage was done. His story had already come down with a hardcore case of the love sweats. That didn't stop all that. Story and I are out there cutting up on the rug like we do. And as fate would have it, Ashley brought a date that didn't want to dance that night. So she saw us out there displaying tremendous big man agility. Absolutely tremendous. And she comes and joins us out on the dance floor. We're cutting it up like we do, and at some point, Story takes me aside and says, "Dude, Ashley just smacked me on the ass." And smiled as she walked away. I call him a liar then, and I'll call him a liar then. However, if true, it would have been the first time Story was smacked on his ass, and the purpose was neither to make him stop eating or make him start running faster. Now, obviously, something happened, or we wouldn't be here. They started chatting, they started dating. Hardcore, and then they got engaged and things got real interesting.
Very, very interesting. And here we are today. From our perspective, watching them get together, watching the relationship unfold, has been like a great television show. If it was like a television show today, it would be called King of Queens. That show already exists. But this time, Doug Heffernan's part will be played by a gigantic white elephant. But all the best parts happen during the wedding planning episodes. Now, this is great for me. It's cool watching Story get married. It was nice earlier today. Very happy for you, bro. Good stuff. Your hair looks great. But I remember we're leaving high school, we're going into college, we're both playing college football because we're larger than normal. So we would call each other up and start exchanging some of our college football war stories. Stuff like how we're in agonizing pain, how we're just taken to the brink of exhaustion, how we're getting screamed at every damn day to work hard. Now, I'm engaged as well. He's getting married now. We're going into the next phase of life together. And I like the fact that I'm able to call him up while I'm in agonizing pain, getting screamed at. We can exchange some of our marriage war stories. I mean, marriage, love, and happiness.
I'm gonna do a little talking for you right now. We're getting to the point where I'm about to be the last single man standing, as Barrow poorly alluded to. He's engaged. Phil's engaged. AJ Allison's married. Story's been married for hours. And JW?
Whatever, man. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me, man. Keep going.
JW stored me last weekend. He deserves this. But hey, I am happy for these guys. They've all met incredible women that are perfect for each other. The thing I've noticed about all of their girls is they're all way smarter than the guys. They're all very organized, very strong-willed, assertive women. Ashley is a great example of this. If I could use a football analogy, she's like a classic north-south running back. She comes right at you. She doesn't hesitate in the backfield. Every time I talk to her, she throws my crap right back at me. Just about all our conversations end with, "You're an idiot. You're so weird. Are you effing kidding me?" But hey, I don't give Ashley enough credit. She puts up with a lot from us, and that's kind of a requirement of being one of our significant others. You know, if someone had spilled nacho cheese all over my couch and my pillows and my coffee table, my floor, my sink, I don't know if I'd have been as gracious as she was with me. But hey, actually, believe it or not, there is a reason for all these stories. Today you married our best friend, and your two families joined. But it didn't stop there. Look around the room, you see people that love you, and the people are now your family. Now, many a tear was shed while you walked down the aisle. I'm sure my own mother was sobbing as she watched Kyle, who she treats as her firstborn son, married. You know, if you ever decide to have a kid, she's going to be praying it's at her hospital. So, you know, her firstborn son, Christopher, is slacking big time, so she really wants that grandkid, and Kyle, you're up. And if it's a girl, it's going to be spoiled by Joyce and Kim, and all of us are going to be there when that poor soul shows up to take her out on her first date, just bad boy 2 style. Something's coming here to intimidate the kid. And if it's a boy, we're going to teach that kid a read option and a 3-4 defense before it learns how to multiply. Maybe Grandpa Ken will sit it down and teach him some of the finer points of man he forgot to teach to Kyle. But, you know, we may be awful to each other as friends, but we take care of our own. We are the first ones to call when things get tough and the first ones to call to celebrate. We are a family, and today you became a part of that. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. I can't predict the future, but here's what I know. Bear will not stop wearing the bottom portion of Hillary Clinton's pantsuit. Bill will never stop grinning like an idiot, and JW will never stop having the mood swings of a teenage girl. Kyle's head will never get any smaller. I will never stop making fun of him. I will never stop asking you to put a good word for me with a face. But no matter what, we will be there for you whenever you need us. Because as of today, you are our family. We wrote this whole speech to properly introduce you. And with that, I'd like to propose a toast to family in the beginning of this new one. Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay.